excruciating loss, and guys are now tired. You got a game tomorrow in Cleveland. How can you gather and regroup from this? And is this a step forward despite the defeat?
Yeah, I thought in a game like this, two great teams playing against each other, they made a couple more plays more than we did, and those plays get magnified, and you just have to move on. So like you said, I thought we got better. I thought we did a lot of good things on both ends of the floor. I thought they made a few more plays than we did.
The inability to stop Quickley from just kind of going wherever he wants. What can you do about that? I mean, what can you do when he seemed to kind of get to his spots and then also set up his teammates, get open threes, et cetera?
Yeah, he's a good player. So, you got to pick and choose what you're willing to take away. I thought we did a decent job on him at times. I think, you can take away the transition once, I think. And so he got out in transition on a few baskets in both halves, and that's the stuff that you got to take away from him, and then, just defend without fouling.
And Joe, can you just walk us through that last 21 seconds there? Was it just a miscommunication, the initial play call before you called timeout? What kind of happened there?
Yeah, just a miscommunication on the matchup, and then call a timeout, good organized, got a good look.
And how tough is that in a situation where, you might be able to get multiple chances to, try to tie that game, but to lose that time in that stretch, where obviously you got one, but you couldn't foul or anything after that, or for three.
Yeah, it's tough.
Joe, at the end of the third, you had that 25-point turnaround, up 14 to down 11, where it just seems like you're playing your absolute worst of the game. What went into that stretch of just really poor play?
If I remember correctly, it was empty possessions on the offensive end and then transition and fouling.
Yeah, so what goes into – you have stretches where offensively you're playing great, and then all of a sudden you have a significant amount of time where you do have a lot of those empty possessions. Is that just the flow of the game, or what happens there?
Yeah, I think it's the flow of the game. Some of it were turnovers. I think we had an illegal screen. I think we had a turnover. I think we had 2 missed layups. And then we missed like 3 or 4 open threes. And so when you have those empty possessions to where, especially the layups, they really hurt you if you miss them, and then you go 5-on-4 at the other end. And so you just can't have multiple empty possessions in a row and not get back in transition.
Joe, in what ways do you think you got better tonight?
Just handling the momentum of the game. I thought we did a good job. Gaining the lead, giving it up, getting it back, just handling the ebbs and flows of a game to where we were able to maintain a level of poise and focus and execution. And I think, that's something that we didn't have last game. And I think that's something that you're going to need, trying to get to where you want to get to, is just handle the ebbs and flows of the game. So, tactically you can pick, in a game like this, you can pick 10 possessions, 20 possessions that you feel like we can get better at. We just have to keep getting better at them.
And then defensively in the fourth quarter, were adjustments made, or was it just a matter of picking up the intensity?
We switched the matchup a little bit, but other than that, it was just, we defended without fouling, I believe, in that quarter. We kept them off the free throw line.
Joe, what can you guys do? They got a lot of offensive rebounds, especially in overtime. Robinson wore you guys down. Without Robert in there, what can you do preventing offensive rebounds, second chance points? And then Robinson's rim protection seemed to kind of deter you guys and made you guys take tougher shots. Is there anything you can do about that when you've got a guy like that in the middle and you don't have your guy?
I don't think he affected our shots. I thought he was on Al the whole game, and he was spaced, and Al got wide open looks, and he overhelped at the rim, and we did a good job kicking out. On the defensive end, he's a load, so you got to box him out, and you got to have multiple guys down there, and he got some key ones towards the end of the game, but that's why their offensive rebound percentage is good. 11 over the course of a double overtime game probably is good, but they probably had timely ones that cost us.
And Jason was going back and forth to the locker room. Was he injured?
I think he's had to go to the bathroom.
Okay, twice or 3 times?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Joe, you talked about winning games at the margins,
yeah,
regardless of the threes. How'd you feel like that was tonight?
Everything except the free throws. Got more shots than them. We turned it over less. Got more offensive rebounds than they did. But they beat us at the free throw line 32-25. That's why it was a very close game, and that's why it comes down to you can pick 10 plays that if they went our way, or if we would have got a stop here. And so that's how close the margins are.
And you rode switching onto Quickley throughout that fourth quarter. You didn't want to put as much length at the rim as you did like against like Cleveland, even though their offensive rebounding was really hurting you in the second overtime. So I guess what made you decide to go with what you went with tonight, and how do you feel about
It's
that?
a different matchup. They had more shooting, and they had more. Knicks had more shooting on the floor than when they play, Cleveland's lineup. And so, playing Al to 5, and then them having Hart and Mitchell in the game, I felt like it was better for us to switch and keep in front. I thought our individual defense was solid at times.
Joe, 17 games left in the regular season, trending. The competition is trending up, and you guys are starting to hit like some struggles here. What's the level of concern as far as the timing of this?
0.
And so, what do you think you need to do to pull out of this? And is seeding first, second at this point a priority for you?
It's obviously there. The only thing you can control is try to win the games, and so we put ourselves in the best possible chance to win. But 0 concern. Just because there's 17 games left doesn't mean that there's any different than how a stretch of a season would go. And you obviously want to be playing your best basketball later in the season as you get closer to the playoffs. But this is a tough stretch, and whatever the stretch has, we have to learn from it so that we can use it later in the year.
One more. Do you know if Malcolm's making the trip to Cleveland?
I don't yet. I didn't get an update.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.